Welcome back to Motor Nubs. This is Brandon, and today we're working on the Thunderbird project, which is going to be a turbo 302 out of a 1995 SN95. That's the donor car. Today we're going to be pulling the harness and the ECU out of the SN95. It's a little tricky because I need pretty much all of the stock harness, engine side, driver side, passenger side. Yeah, so I'll show you some of the little tips and tricks because I had some trouble with it. Alright guys, so I am back in the SN95. This is the donor car. I'm pulling the ECU out. It takes a 10 millimeter bolt. This is the main harness plug that goes into the ECU. And then over here, this little bracket, normally the ECU is slid up in there, and that bracket's held over by this guy, which is a 5.5 millimeter little tiny screw. And then after you unplug that and then unplug the ECU, it can slide out, and boom, there's our heart. Boom, Ford ECU. That's what's going into the Thunderbird. These right here are the I believe the body control plugs, so we just unplugged all those, and we're gonna try to pull those, or no, those are staying in the car. We're pulling this main plug and this plug are getting pulled through the firewall. So I'm gonna grab my bits and bobs, put my hat back on. We'll go to the other side, the engine bay side, and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, in the fender well. Boom, that's where it's running through. So we need to pull that plug and stuff through that hole. So let me put the camera down for a second so I can get it pulled through there. I forgot to bring my tripod today.
6.5 hours later.
Okay guys, so I got the stock harness up and out of this hole back in here, underneath the firewall. It is a pain. The way to do it is once you unbolt that from the ECU on the inside, you got to pull all these other little plugs out first, and then you can pull that one out last. And it's got a plastic cover over it. You want to remove that plastic cover so it's smaller. If you have to, you can get this bolt out. It's kind of a pain while you're up underneath the car, but it can come out of the factory hole without cutting it. Yeah, they're doing a dyno tune next door, messing up my audio. But yeah, so also you can drop the glove box down, pull it down, you push these sides in, that way you can pull it down and get your hand through there and actually see a little bit better what's going on. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Honestly, I'd rather pull another motor and transmission than pull another harness, because I've been working on this harness for probably the last 2.5 to 3 hours because it's just so painstakingly tight and up in there. And you know, I get outside and wiggle it this way and get inside and wiggle it that way. If I had another person with me here today, that'd be awesome. Eric, the tuner, is over there tuning. You can hear him, so he's busy. And all my help I guess they were busy today, but I got it. I got it. Whew. You see the front bumpers off this car. I pulled that off for Eric. He's gonna put that on his race car. He wanted that bumper and the I don't know what it's called, the header panel or whatever. I got the throttle cable and the bracket. I'm gonna end up putting that on the Thunderbird. I also got the mounts for the fuse box that goes in the engine bay, and then also the mount for where the harness, the main plug harness, sits on the firewall. So I'll try to use those mounts in the Thunderbird, just self-tap them in, just to maybe try to keep it as clean as possible. I think I pretty much have all the parts I need off of this. I was going to end up using that vacuum brake booster and master cylinder, but after talking to Eric, and I don't think I'm going to now. So I think I'm going to get the adapter plate and run a manual brake booster, and yeah, life will be hunky-dory. We're not going to run AC on this, so I don't need any of the AC components. We actually left the AC system still hooked up, so we didn't have to evacuate any of that. Yeah, so pro tips right there, guys. All right, well, I'm gonna get this thing ready to push back outside. I don't believe he needs any other parts off of it right now, so I'm gonna put the wheels back on. I'm just doing a once over, a little double check. Here's my little keep parts pile. I also got donated a BBK Power Plus 75 millimeter throttle body, so that's awesome. I guess they bought it for another project. That project never got to use it. And it's just been sitting here collecting dust. They said it's too small for most of their builds, but I can definitely have it. And I was like, heck yeah, that's awesome. That saves me definitely some few dollars right there. But yeah, so the donor car, there she is in all her glory. Oh, I am going to lift up the car and break the rear end loose, all the bolts, and leave them just just a couple threads on, because I'm going to be pulling that rear end, but I have to pull it outside in the yard because I have to put it all up on jack stands because we have to roll it out of here. So yeah, I'm gonna lift that up now and get this ready to break loose. All right guys, so while I'm underneath here, I went ahead and loosened that bolt up. That's the rear control arm. Did the other rear control arm. Top control arm, see, these are just finger tight enough to just push it outside and get it where we need to be. And then I loosened up the bottom shocks where they mount, and I'm gonna probably go ahead and just take off the quad shock on each side because those don't even need to be hooked up. And yeah, so that way when we get it out in the yard, I'll lift the Mustang up, pull all those bolts out, drop the rear end out, get it out of there, and then this car will, I don't know if we're gonna put another just junk rear end in it or what, but yeah, that's what we're doing. All right, so today we got the harness out. I have the driver side and passenger side main harnesses, and then also the transmission harness. They're all just kind of shoved in there somewhere. I think this one, I think this is that's the passenger side harness, and then this is the driver's side harness. Transmission harness is in there somewhere. Anyway, yeah, let me see. Hold on. Now I'm actually wondering. Okay, it's all mixed together. Anyway, passenger side harness, driver's side harness. So I'm going to leave that in the back of the car for right now to keep it out of the weather, because the storage space is at a minimum inside of his shop, which is cool. I understand that. We have a drive shaft out of the SN95. Pretty sure I'm going to have this lengthened because the Thunderbird has a little bit longer wheelbase. Also got the flywheel flex plate, or the flex plate, not the flywheel, off of the motor. We were going to start breaking the motor down today, but I kind of ran out of time. This is the linkage for the transmission, throttle cable, and I think that's pretty much it for right now. So I'm gonna get y'all up to speed. Oh, all right, guys. Well, it's getting pretty late. Yeah, we got the other car pushed out of here, so the SN95 is back out into the pasture. So I'm gonna be pulling that rear end out when I get some time. It's kind of rainy and wet outside, so I don't really want to crawl up underneath there right now. The motor, let me show you. It's over here on this stand. Probably not going to start breaking it down this evening. Going to save that for next week. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying what's happening. Just to do a recap, this is a factory SN95 5.0 HO motor. We are going to be pulling the heads on it and putting head gaskets and ARPs, just because it's cheap insurance. Also, I believe we're going to be doing a cam and some springs. I'm pretty much just going with what the tuner recommends, because I told him I'm on a budget. I want to keep everything pretty budget minded, but I do want to, if we're already here and it's fairly cheap, I think the cam he recommends is only like $100 and something bucks, and he said it would allow it to make power a lot easier. That's the name of the game. So I don't remember what cam it was, but when we get to that, I will show you. And every step of the process, just like my other builds, will be videoed and will be uploaded. So make sure to check out the Thunderbird playlist. It will be down below in the description. And yeah, so I guess so far we got a motor, we got a transmission, we have an ECU harness. We are going to be tuning it with SCT on the stock ECU, so should be no issue there. And yeah, undecided on the exact turbo or turbo kit that we'll be using, but hopefully we'll know here shortly. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.